But I don't think that Jeffree's at fault for what the general consensus or the community thinks about Laura and Manny. What's going on, everyone? It's Rich Lex. In today's video, you won't believe the drama. Yes, man, we got a lot of drama to cover, so let's get this party started. Now, you already know, you gotta go ahead and set your makeup because this drama is gonna crack your contour. Okay, guys, can we talk for a minute? Now, I've been getting so many messages, girl, that the gloves are off, girl. So many messages about people wanting to know the real tea on the Jeffree Star Shane Dawson series, girl. And I've seen it. I've seen what you're talking about, guys. And of course, I was like, well, I don't know. I wanted to wait. I wanted to wait and sit on it, see what the general people, the community were gonna say. I think I got enough evidence that we can talk about it now. So if you watch the Shane Dawson series, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think by now over 60 million views, girl. There were some parts in there that you can kind of piece together, girl. Did Manny MUA, or some people call him now Manny Mooch, Manny Moocha, Manny Mooch, girl. Did Manny Mooch use Jeffree Star? Now, this is not something that I'm saying. This is a general community complaint, girl. In the Shane Dawson Jeffree Star series, there were some parts where they actually showed Manny's face, girl. Now, Jeffree Star never once said in the docuseries, Manny made me way. He never said Laura Leach. He didn't say no names. But the community found it kind of very interesting that there was a certain scene where they showed Manny's face, but it was kind of blurred. Now, I don't know if that was on Jeffree's part, Shane's fault, the video editor, like, who knows, right? But Jeffree Star had said that he has had friends that had used him for his connections. I believe those were the right words, right? And I can only say things that are facts, right? And I do have my little opinions, and we'll talk about that later, but I have to set up this drama, okay? So when he said that, the community was set on fire because a lot of people were saying they automatically were assuming Laura and Manny and Nikita Dragon and all these other people, right? And so I just wanted to say, like, from a viewer, and not being like salacious headlines and titles and hyping it up and getting the people rattled up, because it's so easy to come on here and say, Manny MUA used Jeffree Star, the house, and you know what I'm saying? But if you really take a step back, just because Jeffree Star said that he had friends to take advantage of him, use him for the connections, that doesn't necessarily mean he's specifically talking about Manny and Laura, right? Now, I have no horse in this race, but I'm just trying to say, with that being said, they did show a picture of Manny MUA at some point, right? And so that was very interesting tea. So then that's when people started to say, well, is it Manny? Is it Laura? And so I just want to say, even if I knew the true tea on what really happened, I don't think it would be my place to sit here and tell the tea. You know what I'm saying? And you know, there's always three sides. There's one person's side, the other person's side, and then there's the truth, you know? And it would be so unfair to sit up here and start pointing fingers when nobody's here to defend themselves and nobody has said anything, right? But I don't think I've seen, and I could be wrong, but I don't think I've seen Laura or Manny or any of Jeffree Star's ex-friends tweet or talk about publicly like, oh, Jeffree, this movie was so great, blah, blah, blah. But who's to say, because we don't know, who's to say that they didn't text him privately and tell him that, right? Because I haven't seen Manny say anything publicly about the Shane Dawson series. But like I said, we don't know. Maybe he texted him privately. Nobody knows. We don't know the scope of the friendship because nobody was there. So it goes back to say, did Manny MUA use Jeffree Star? And I'm thinking, just because you use somebody, if that's the case, doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. In the sense that if it's business, well, then you would use the connection so that they could make money and the other person make money, so everybody's making money. So yeah, of course, then in that case, it was used, but that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, you know? But what I do believe, I think the Shane Dawson series kind of set a flame on a bigger scale, bigger than this scale, bigger than my little channel here, but a bigger scale to get people more interested in like, well, I think I used to see Manny hang out with Jeffree and I don't really see them anymore. But then there's that picture and then they'll probably go watch videos and stuff like that. But it's almost to Manny's own detriment because it's kind of like he won't say anything. Like, he's never publicly came out and said, congratulations, Jeffree. He's never said, no, I never used Jeffree. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? So it's kind of like sketchy. So it kind of lets people even more talk about it. And I just want to say this too. It's none of it, a lot of it is not really Jeffree Star's fault. In the sense that if the community starts thinking that Manny MUA used Jeffree Star for connections, right? That's not something Jeffree ever said or said his name, or he's never said Manny's name. These are just people's thoughts in the community, leaving little comments and saying that generates buzz. So that's people just start thinking it. So that's not really Jeffree's fault because he can't control the masses. But at the same time, Manny hasn't ever said in the video, no, I've never used them, or blah, blah, or this is how it went down. That's not how it went down. This is how it went down. Like, you get what I'm saying? So it's almost kind of like if Manny MUA doesn't like, because I'm sure Manny and Laura have probably gotten messages like, ooh, Jeffree Star used your face at this part in the docuseries. Does this connect to the part where he said that he had friends use connections, like that you use him for connections and stuff like that? They've never came out and said anything about it either. And maybe they never will. And I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people out there who know the real tea and aren't saying anything either because it's not really their place to say it. But I don't think that Jeffree's at fault for what the general consensus or the community thinks about Laura and Manny. That's just how it looks. That may not be how it is, if that makes sense. And I don't even know if this video makes sense at all, right? So then there was a part inside the Shane Dawson series where there was like this little, they were showing how the blood sugar palette is made, right? Which I was kind of let down at that part because I wanted to see more because I found it so interesting. But we only got like a little bit of it. But there was a clip of like these small circular pans being made. So a lot of people were thinking, that's Manny's makeup, that's Laura's makeup. And again, that's the community assuming that that's what it is. It could be Manny's or Laura's. Whereas my point of view would be that could be another brand's makeup being made. That could be a L'Oreal something, or that could be Marc Jacobs, or who knows? Like, nobody knows who specific makeup that was, but the people just always want to assume that was Manny and Laura's, and it could be a totally different brand. Or it could also be Jeffree Star's next palette. Like, you just never know. Again, the community going off on a tangent and just assuming things without really knowing. It's kind of like, I think it's just easy to always just point fingers to them, especially because they're not saying anything back in return like no, or like, did you catch the glimpse of my new makeup being made, or anything like that. So it's like nobody knows whose makeup that was. If Manny and Laura wanted to stop some of the negative criticism that they're getting, that they may have used Jeffree Star or whatever, they have vlog channels, they have second channels. They can easily go on there and just address it real quickly or something like that. Doesn't necessarily be like a whole video or just a mention or even like a Snapchat or a tweet or something. And I think a lot of it would stop some of people's opinions that they were leeches and using Jeffree the house and all that stuff like that. And I don't really think that's really what it is. Do I have proof? No. I just think it looks that way, but I don't think that's what it is, you know? And I honestly feel that what the general people think happened is not really what really happened, in the sense of why they had a falling out. The main takeaway of this video is I just want you to wake up and be like, just because it's easy to assume something, that may not be the case. So I know there are a lot of people who are sending comments and messages to Manny and Laura's way saying that this does confirm from the Shane Dawson video that they used Jeffree Star for his connections. And if they did use Jeffree Star for their connections, who's to say that Jeffree Star didn't say, okay, you know, I'll give you my connections, but you gotta give me a referral fee? Like, nobody knows the ins and out of it. I just think that the community just always wants to assume that that's just what it was. And again, if they wanted to stop it, you can easily say something about it and just address it. There was a public comment that Jeffree Star left about contracts. Let me see if I can find it for you. Be right back. So this was a comment that Jeffree Star left on a YouTuber by the name of Dustin Daly's YouTube channel. So Jeffree wrote, "Hey love, there are no contracts between anyone and myself. People don't trash talk me because I'm a great friend. Only help and love people to give them my all. And I'm a part owner of Killer Merch. Everything else, maybe one day." I just feel like Jeffree Star should write a tell-all book on what happened or something like that. That would be interesting. I would read it, girl. So my opinions, because you know I have them. Do I think that Manny MUA's makeup is made inside the same factory as Jeffree Star's? Have no proof, just my opinion. That could be possible. Do I think that Laura Lee's makeup is made in the same factory? That could be it. I have no proof. It could be possible. And I just think it's starting to look a little bit messy, especially whenever You do business with family, you do business with friends. It could get a little bit, you know, a little gray area. I don't know if it was the best interest, and like this is my opinion as well. I don't know if Manny and Laura Lee should have ever had their own makeup line, because it's a lot of headache and it's a lot of hard work, a lot of money, and a lot of drama. I just don't think it was worth the headache, right? I think that brand deals and collaborations were more their style. But if that was their dream and passion to have a makeup line, then for all be it, that's what they wanted to do. Anyways, if you liked the video, smash that like button, comment, rate, subscribe. If you don't like the video, sincere haters, so when they watch it, they lost 10 minutes of their life they'll never get back. Don't forget, I do have music and merchandise down below. Check it out if you want. I'll see you next video. Bye. I love you so much. No, girl.